It's Monday, October 3rd, 2022, and this is episode 267 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall.
And I'm Dr. Mike.
Mike, I understand that you've been pushing the house at Diamond Joe Worth.
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
Well, they upped the maximum bet on the all tall, all small to $10.
Okay.
Which is nice.
That was supposedly your doing?
Well, I don't know if it's my doing, but I was advocating for it pretty hard.
Okay. And they finally did it. I could see you doing that, just complaining every time. Like when it hits, like, so I can't increase it?
Yeah. I wanted him to allow me. I wanted him to go up to a quarter.
Yeah.
But anyway, they upped that.
So when we go in November, then $10 will be able to bet at least $10 on the all tall small, or you will be able to. I probably won't.
Yeah.
Bet on it.
Well, no, everyone else will be able. You'll be able to.
I'll be able to
do it, but you will be able to. Yeah, and they got a table all set up for us.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, and we can set the limit where we want it. Anyway, yeah, it's going to be good.
Okay, so great. So just to remind everybody, it is going to be a get-together on Veterans Day weekend. That's November 11th through the 13th at Diamond Joe Worth in Iowa. Not Diamond Joe Dubuque,
right?
But Diamond Joe Worth, which is
the one that's, right on the border of Minnesota and Iowa.
Yeah, okay. We'll continue to mention that as we get closer there, but definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a real good time. And if you need rooms, just call the casino and ask. They'll get us all set up. Also, I ate there the last time I went, and it was really good.
Where'd you eat?
I'm not going to remember the name of it now, but it was like, it used to be a buffet, and now it's like a coffee shop or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And I had the pot roast dinner. Mark, it was excellent.
Oh, good. Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah. It was $15.99, I believe, $16.
Uh-huh.
And there was so much pot roast on that plate. And I love meat. Yeah. I could not eat it all. I left about a quarter of it. I mean, there was so much meat on there.
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes, gravy covering the whole thing, corn, a roll with butter. It comes with either soup or salad and cherry pie for dessert.
Wow, and that's all parted. Wow, $16.
Wow. $16.
Can't beat that.
I thought that was a pretty darn good deal.
Yeah.
And then the wood-fired pizza area gets rave reviews from everybody. The steakhouse has gotten rave reviews. I haven't tried those, but we might have to take 20 minutes off to eat.
Hopefully not that long, Dr. Mike.
Yeah, well, we'll rush it. We'll order ahead.
All right, so good. Looking forward to that trip. Well, we got an email from listener Jake. He suggested we talk about this blackjack variant called Lucky Cat Blackjack. But first, in his email, he had some information about strip blackjack conditions on a recent trip he went. He said that Treasure Island has $10 double deck 3-2 blackjack, at least when he was there at 3 p.m. We continue to hear really good things about blackjack conditions at Treasure Island, at least as far as strip casino goes. It sounds like that's one of the better places for low rollers and good rules.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff on the internet about that. I also, though, the other night saw one where somebody was saying that it was pretty rough inside there, like a rough crowd.
Oh, you mean like the clientele and everything at Treasure Island?
Yeah.
Really? Huh.
That's what I saw. Somebody posted that. Now, that's one person's opinion. But...
yeah, it might have been a one-off. All right. Well, keep that in mind that, you're going to get some pretty good low roller conditions for blackjack at Treasure Island, but, watch your back.
Right. There you go.
Also, he said that at New York's 6-5 blackjack game, they offer even money if you've got a blackjack and the dealer has an ace showing. Now, most 6-5 games won't offer even money on that. It's like you're taking insurance because the math just doesn't work out. So if they will offer you even money on a 6-5 game, again, when you have blackjack and the dealer's showing an ace, you should always take it. We say never take it in a regular game, but in this case, because of the 6-5 rules, this is actually something you should always do.
Right.
All right. On to Lucky Cat Blackjack, which Jake says is the dumbest blackjack modification to ever be created. So,
I wonder why they came up with Lucky Cat.
Well, you'll see.
But why a cat?
Well, I don't know. You know what it is? The cat on it, it looks like one of those waving cats. You know those mechanical waving cats, right? That's a
like
Lucky
on
Cat.
The slot machine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I would have gone with Lucky Sloth.
It's too slow. The game would be too slow.
No. They can move when they want to.
All right. Well, let's see if you agree this is the dumbest modification. All right. So it plays like regular blackjack, except if the dealer busts with exactly 22, which is already you're thinking, okay, this is how a lot of blackjack variants go, right? Something's up if the dealer busts with exactly 22. If they bust with exactly 22, they roll 4 dice. Now, these dice, they're 6-sided dice. They all have the picture of the Lucky Cat on one side. One of
the 6 sides has a Lucky Cat.
Right, and the other 5 are just blank.
Right.
Okay. So they roll all 4 of these dice. And if at least one cat shows up on one of the dice, the player gets paid. And the pay table, it can be different, but if it shows up on only one die, it pays even money. If it shows up on 2 dice, it pays either 3-1 or 2-1, depending on the pay table. If it shows up on 3 dice, it pays 10-1. And if it shows up on all 4 dice, it pays 100-1 or 50-1, depending on the pay table. Now, those odds are against your blackjack bet. So however much you bet on blackjack, on your regular hand, that's what gets paid at odds there.
Yeah. Well, it'd be great if you had 4 cats come up.
Oh, yeah. Now, if no cats come up, it's a push, meaning you don't get paid at all, right? Here's where the busting on 22 comes into play, right? You don't win at all, even though the dealer busted. And almost half the time, 48.2% of the time, no cats will show up when the dice are rolled.
Pretty nice for the casino.
Yeah, again, this is one of those things where maybe it sounds better than it is, or it's to attract people who, want something a little bit different or don't understand that there's a regular blackjack table right down the way. Hey, again, if you find this fun, we're not judging, right? I mean, I wouldn't mind playing a few times, right? Just to see, see the dice get rolled.
I mean, if you're into cats, then, be good.
Now, if the player gets blackjack, they get paid right away at 3-2 or 6 or 5 or whatever it's playing. So they get paid right away. They don't get involved in the Lucky Cat if the dealer busts with 22.
Well, yeah, that'd suck if you had to wait for Lucky Cat and then you didn't get paid.
Right, on a blackjack, yeah.
On a blackjack.
But it would also kind of suck if you got paid on your blackjack and then, 4 cats came up on the dice, right? You didn't get
right. A lot less likely to happen.
That is true.
It would still suck.
And also, this Lucky Cat applies to, double down, splits. If you split into like 3 hands, it applies to each hand. So what do you think, Dr. Mike?
First of all, let's get to the important part, Mark.
All right.
What do the dice look like? Are they big, huge dice? Are they regular, like crab-sized dice? Are they furry dice? Is the cat raised up a little bit? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, okay. I can almost guarantee you 2 things. They're not fuzzy, and the cat is not raised up, because then it wouldn't roll correctly, right? So,
it'd be fun, though.
I haven't seen them, so I don't know. I'm guessing that they'd probably be smaller than craps dice.
Oh, you think so?
I think so, yeah, because they probably put them in a cup or something, and he shakes them, and, I don't know. I've never...
Like a Pai Gow cup, shakes
something
them and
like
dumps
that.
it over?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's a guess.
That might work. Well... I'm not going to be playing this game because I think that's crazy. But I guess if it was somewhere, I'd sit down and try it for, $50 or something just to see the cats.
All right.
I would complain a little. I want octagonal dice.
Yeah.
With a sloth, with 2 sloths.
All right. You've always got good ideas for modifications to these games, Dr. Mike.
It sounds like we're playing Dungeons and Dragons or something. 2 cats. Now you get to go on the Trail of Windsor.
I'll use my magic spell. Nope, magic doesn't work on cats.
Oh, that's what they need at Dungeons and Dragons games at casino. I mean,
they had
we've got
slots for it.
Casino War. Yeah, they had slots for it.
Well, one of the things that certainly online people have been complaining about Lucky Cat, at least at Golden Nugget in Las Vegas, they also require a side bet, a mandatory side bet. We've heard stories about this. It's not just Lucky Cat Blackjack, but some of the downtown casinos in particular, on their blackjack games, the side bets are mandatory. And, maybe it's only $1 or $2, but I hope that's a trend that's not going to continue. I don't think it is, because I think people are really going to balk at it, even though a lot of people do make the side bets. So,
well, what's our world coming to? I mean, mandatory side bets. Your pants have to be all the way pulled up. No butt crack showing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the rules, it's going to be complicated. They're going to have to hand out syllabuses when you go into the casino.
Yeah, we're living in a police state, Dr. Mike.
We're living in a police state. Why can't they just get back to just crap's normal way?
So that's Lucky Cat Blackjack. Play at your own risk. All right, Mike, you want to talk about this Hustler Casino live hand?
Yeah, I do and I don't.
All right. So there's a hand that's been getting a lot of attention on the internet that happened during the Hustler Casino live show. Let's go through the hand a little bit here. So Garrett Adelstein raised to $3,000 with the 7-8 of clubs. Robbie J. Lou, who had position on him, called with Jack 4 offsuit. So already it's like Jack 4 off.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
She's calling a pretty good size raise with Jack 4.
Now, she might have been in a straddle. There's a lot of information about this hand. So if she were in a straddle, maybe she already had some money in the pot and she was just making the call with this terrible hand. Whatever. All right. So the flop comes 10-10-9 with the 10 and 9 of clubs. So now Adelstein has a straight flush draw.
Right.
So he bets 2,500, kind of a smallish bet.
Yeah.
And Lou calls. So right there, it's like, wait, what is she calling with? She's got the Jack of clubs. So she's got like it could come runner, straight or flush or something. But at that point, maybe fold. Who knows? Maybe she thinks she can outplay him on the turn or whatever. So it hasn't gotten too crazy yet, but it's still a little questionable.
It's still a little questionable, but let's talk about his bet. He makes a smaller bet than his raise.
Yeah.
And he's got an open-ended straight flush draw.
Right.
So he's got straight flush potential. He's got straight potential. He has flush potential, and he makes a smaller bet.
We'll hear more after the turn.
I would have made a larger bet trying to get her out because I don't really have a hand yet.
Well, maybe he's making a smaller bet to try to make it look like he's got a really good hand and is trying to keep her in. Like maybe he has a 10 or something, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Whatever.
Maybe.
I mean,
yeah. Well, we don't know what his thought process is on that. It could go either way.
Yeah, but that's flop.
Kind of
all right. So the turn was the 3 of hearts, a complete blank for both of them. Adelstein bets 10,000 now. Okay. Lou raises to 20,000. So a min raise. Okay.
A min raise, but she's got absolutely nothing.
She's got absolutely nothing, but maybe she's trying to represent the 10 here. It's okay. So right. Even though it's a little questionable, it's like, okay, I understand. So then Adelstein shoves for an additional 109,000. So this is where it gets a little strange. At this point, if you're Lou, you're folding, right? You've got no draw.
You shouldn't have been into this hand to begin with.
Right. She took a stab at it, it looks like, with the min raise, and then he went all in. So this is an easy fold. She inexplicably called.
Yeah, she asked for time. She threw out a time button, and then she thought about it, and then she called.
Okay, so they ran it twice, which is, we can discuss that. That's sort of a different topic about running it twice, but I guess,
don't like that.
I guess I can understand Adelstein wanting to do it because he's on a draw, so he'd kind of like to see a couple of, couple different runs. Anyway, he didn't improve on either of the river cards. So, they show their cards and everybody's just like, what? Lou, why did she call? What's going on here? So there's all this controversy about, oh my gosh, she must have been cheating. Because how could she make a call with Jack high? Yeah, she had no draw. She's calling with Jack high. It's not ace high, right? In fact, I think when they initially asked her, it's like, why'd you call? Oh, well, I thought maybe he only had ace high. Well, you only have Jack high. Her explanation didn't seem to make much sense.
Her explanation was that he might have ace high. Well, if he had ace high, you lost. Why are you calling?
So, there's this big ruckus at the table. What's going on? What's going on? And then later, a few minutes later, she ended up refunding his money. Now, there's talk about who instigated that. Did he ask for the money back? Did she offer it? There's a little contradiction there depending on who you ask. But
they met in private.
Yeah, okay.
Off camera.
Right. So, but just the fact that she refunded it makes her look even more guilty of cheating.
Right.
But on the other hand, if you're cheating, if you really are cheating, you have some information. This is not the hand to do it on because it's so obvious that you're cheating. It's so obvious that she probably isn't cheating. You see what I mean?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Well, and we should mention this. He's a pro.
Yeah. And
she's not.
She's relatively new. She's had some cashes. She's relatively new to the game, right?
Yeah, and she has kind of a reputation, from what I've read, of being kind of a wild player.
Yeah, right, sure.
So, I mean, that works in her favor, too. But it still seems very odd. I don't really have an opinion on if she's cheating or not, because it could go either way.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think this could very possibly be the case. I have no proof of this, but I'm thinking maybe, she looked at her cards, her whole cards initially, didn't look at them the rest of the hand, and when the flop came 10-10-9, I'm thinking maybe she forgot that she had a jack and thought that she had a 10. If she thought she had 10-4 going the whole rest of the way, she would have played it exactly like this.
Right.
Because she's got a 10, but she's got a terrible kicker. It would explain the raise. It would explain taking a long time to thinking about it and then making the call. And then maybe at the end she was too embarrassed to say that she thought she had. Instead, she's trying to make it look like she made this hero call.
Yeah, well, she was trying to say she read him.
Yeah, right.
Like, I can read you.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Even if you can read somebody, you've got Jack high.
Right.
He could have. He could be bluffing with King high.
Right. Exactly.
So
I don't know. It's one of those things where who knows. I like that people are saying she cheated because she had some kind of vibrator, signaling that he didn't have a hand.
Well, she'd have to have an accomplice there. They don't allow phones at the table. I don't know. Seriously, though, again, if you are cheating, you don't cheat with that hand. You throw that away because it's so obvious that you're cheating. So she must not have been cheating.
It's caused quite a stir, and I get a kick because there's a lot of people claiming that she had some beads in a particular spot of her body that vibrated and signaled to her.
All right. Now, I think that's on that note, I think we should just drop the topic.
I just get a kick out of that people think that's an option.
Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. All right, let's move on to voicemails. Mike, we've got a bunch this time. I think the whole shock of you not winning our poker tournament has worn off, and so now people are willing to call in again. So.
They're coming back to reality.
Yeah.
What? He didn't win?
All right, let's start off with our good friend Melanie.
Well, hello, Mark. Hello, Dr. Mike. This is Melanie from Colorado. Many trip reports to report on, but I've been too embarrassed because I got the time wrong on the poker tournament and completely missed it. I thought it was 1 o'clock Pacific time, but no, it was Eastern time, and I was very mortified and embarrassed. I'm sorry, guys, and I'm sorry everyone in the poker tournament who saw me blind out slowly. Anyway, just got back from Life is Beautiful weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada. Got comped rooms at Main Street Station, and I love Main Street Station. Great to talk with Jose and Oleg at the bar. They don't do the scratchers anymore, unfortunately, since I hit 4 aces on double bonus. They're digital anyway, so that it's not as exciting as the paper ones. Before that, I went to Las Vegas for our fantasy draft party. We've been doing it for 20 years. Big old group from Colorado, Vail area. and it was epic. We had a suite at MGM, 2 stories, beautiful porch, high floor, view of the Strip, amazing. Right before I got there, I was playing that Buffalo. It's going 2, 3, 4 times, and then it has the number of free spins you get. Well, what do you know, at El Cortez, I hit the 4 times with 63 free games, kept re-triggering, got it up to 90-some free games. By the time it was all done, up $2,100 hand pay.
Nice.
El Cortez takes their time on the hand pay, but that's what I didn't mind, because that was quite a great win. Yes, they are the closest casino to Life is Beautiful. However, their single deck that night was up to $15. It was $5. It's still single deck, but man, I really liked playing all day, man, when it was like a $5 table. Craps was $15. I forgot to look at the minimums at Main Street Station. They have 20 times odds, I believe, which is good. But also, I want to say that there's a $5 table, Century City Casino in Central City. My dad and I played there for probably 2.5 hours. They had the game on. They actually had the audible of the game on, so the commentary, so we could play blackjack, $5 blackjack, great drink service, watch the game. They're great dealers, so friendly, very relaxed, roomy table, windows, non-smoking, highly recommend. So get up to Central City, go play that $5 blackjack game. It's a hoot. 2 travel hacks to share. Number 1, Circa is often on the free Las Vegas Club Passes website. So twice I went to Circa for free on the guest list. The second day it was $75 because it was fight night. They gave you 2 free drink tickets, and again, you can use those for coconut water if you don't want to get a drink, like an alcohol drink. Really great place. The only problem is, guess what? It's too loud, even at the pool. They had many, many games. It was really fun to watch, and also had a UFC fight. So that was great. Highly recommend. I think that's just for women. Men can sign up too, but I don't know that it's free. The other thing is Southwest. If you fly Southwest, try their Wanna Getaway Plus. Here's what I did. The flight I actually wanted was $350. But I booked the Wanna Getaway anytime flight for $200. What you can do is you can change for free online for a same-day confirmed flight. So I went on the same day, and I changed my $200 flight to the next flight, which was the $350 one, and it was free. No additional fare charge if you get that Wanna Getaway. It costs extra $20, but man, you can save some real money. Anyway, love the show, you guys. So great to hear your voices, your banter. Oh my gosh, I'm tempted to fly to Iowa for Veterans Day, meet up with everyone. I just would love to play with you guys. Exactly what you said on the show. Such a wonderful community. Every person to a person is just warm, wonderful, fun, and just likes to have a great time together. Love the show, guys, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.
Oh, yeah, Melanie, you should think about coming up, seeing everybody.
Yeah, Melanie? How far is it from Colorado to Iowa? That's a jaunt. It's a little jaunt.
You're suggesting she drive?
Drive or fly, whatever.
Okay. Yeah,
depending on her work schedule.
We hope to see you there. Well, thank you for the Southwest hack. That's actually very good information. And
yes.
for the Circa information, yes, she's talking about getting a hand pay at El Cortez. That I can understand that taking a while. $2,100. They probably have to, call up to corporate and get all sorts of rules. Like, oh no, we're gonna be in the negative for the day.
Sign off. Yeah. Well, does anybody really mind waiting for a hand pay?
No, probably not, unless you've got a flight to catch.
Right? That might be it. But you're getting a hand pay, so.
Well, especially if they let you play like the machine next to you while you're waiting for it.
Right.
Because,
exactly.
we're gamblers here. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's what you do. You just go to the next machine and play. I like that Circa was too loud.
Yeah, I love Circa, but if somebody is going to complain about Circa, it's the volume, right? They play the music very loud, which is the Stevens style. Same with Golden Gate and the D.
Same with the D.
Yeah, and I like it, but I can understand people just, it's too loud. So if there's going to be any common complaint about Circa, that's probably going to be it. All right, next call.
Hello, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Brian from Pensacola, and I was just listening to your last episode and heard about the 10-year anniversary coming up. I wanted to thank you big time and congratulate you for making it that far. I have definitely been along that whole ride. In fact, many times, as you know, I listen through the back episodes a lot. It's just a lot of fun. So thank you both for entertaining me. As I'm listening, you're talking about the upcoming meet at Diamond Joe Worth Casino. anyone from Minneapolis, St. Paul that likes craps and those kinds of games, we probably are familiar with that casino because it's the closest place from some of those areas to play craps. So I've been there, and one of the quirky things about that area, I thought, is that this casino, number one, is in the middle of nowhere. I mean, soybean fields are literally right across the street. But one of the things that's right next to it is the Welcome Center off the interstate, the Welcome Rest Area for the state of Iowa. And it's a big, huge red barn. And right next door is Diamond Joe Worth Casino. It's just, what a quirky thing. I found it funny. Go to Google Maps and check it out. Anyway, thanks again, guys. I absolutely love the show.
Thanks, Mike. Do you see that barn when you drive by?
Oh, yeah. Yep. And he's right. It's in the middle of nowhere. But what he failed to mention, Brian, is that when you leave Minnesota and you enter Iowa, that's the first place that you can get Burger King at.
Okay. So
also the first Subway sandwich.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
If you're driving from Minnesota and you really need to get a Whopper, that's where you stop.
All right. So there are no other Whoppers on your drive?
No.
All right.
There are no other Whoppers on my drive. But
right.
yeah, it is in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of nice, actually, because, when you cross the border, it's like, 3 miles, I think. But all of a sudden you see the big sign, the casino sign. It's like, oh, there's life here in the fields.
All right. Well, looking forward to it. All right. Next up is Tom.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. Long-time listener, first-time caller. So I've got a little casino story for you. My wife and I live in St. George, Utah, and we were going out for our 27th wedding anniversary to a steakhouse, and it happens to be on the border of Nevada at Mesquite. So we drove down to the Eureka Casino, and we're going to have a nice steak dinner. We had a few minutes to waste, and they just put in a new self-service roulette system. It's actually quite nice. We were standing there looking at it, and there was an attendant who sort of told us about the game and encouraged us to play. So I rolled a $100 bill in, and we were thinking what number to play. And our anniversary happened to be September 16th. So I said, okay, we'll try 16. We put $5 on 16, and wouldn't you know, a one-timer. It was a walk-off. So we hit 16. We did a backup spin, didn't win. 17 came up. But I cashed out, went to dinner. The dinner was about $155, which means the win just covered the dinner. So that was kind of fun, just to have a walk-off win on roulette. Anyways, enjoy your show, and thank you. Bye.
All right. Well, congratulations on your anniversary and on the win.
You have an anniversary and you get the casino to pay for your dinner?
Perfect.
Not bad.
Yep. All right. Let's hear from our good friend, Dr. Taylor.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Taylor from New Mexico. Just wanted to say that since the 3 Royal in 3 nights trip, I've been to Vegas on 2 trips for 5 nights total. No Royal yet. I don't know what's going on. But speaking of back-to-back Royals, our regular bartender right now, who's been a bartender for 25 years in Las Vegas, I've heard her say that she's seen it. So it does happen. Wow. Back-to-back Royal. So there's that. Dr. Mike, your daughter going to UC San Diego. Congratulations. FYI, UC San Diego Big West has their conference tournament is at Dollar Loan Center in Henderson. It's in a walking distance from Green Valley Ranch. So that weekend, Pac-12 tournament, Mountain West tournament, and the WAC tournament. My school right now, it's last year in the WAC. So Tara and I will be there. It's 1 week before March Madness. Lastly, congratulations on 10 years of the podcast. I remember seeing a post on Wizard of Vegas forum posted by Mark, and I looked it up and I found it. And this might be the first time I've heard of your podcast, or maybe it was also mentioned in 500, but this was posted January 25th, 2013, and this is what Mark posted. My good friend Dr. Mike and I host a sort of every other week podcast called You Can Bet on That. It's for recreational gamblers, and we talk about all things from poker to casino games to sports betting to Vegas, etc. We're certainly not in competition with Gambling with an Edge, whereas that show features advantage plays, important guests, and decent audio. We're just a couple of idiots with day jobs and a microphone. Anyway, please give a listen if you're so inclined. We're up to 11 episodes, and only the first 9 sound like we're doing the show in a bathroom. So I think that was the first time I heard about your podcast, and it's been 10 years. It's been a big part of me and my Tara's lives. And thank you for your podcast, and we look forward to seeing you in the near future. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thanks very much, Taylor.
Thanks, Taylor.
Yeah, I remember in those early days, I wanted to promote the podcast, but I didn't want to step on any toes. Like at the Wizard of Vegas forum, I went to like the other topics forum to post that because it's kind of frowned upon when people try to sell stuff or promote themselves, on these forums. So I was kind of treading lightly. But yeah, we got a very good response to that. And you remember, Mike, Taylor, he might not have been the first listener that we met, but he was definitely the first listener we met in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And Taylor, I don't know if you remember, but you didn't hear about us on 500 because talking with you, you told us that you found out about 500 from listening to us, which blew our minds. Because, Tim and Michelle, they're like Vegas royalty. They've been doing it for so long. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, thanks again, Taylor. Certainly one of our earliest listeners, and it's always nice to meet up with you and Tara.
Yeah, we've met so many times. And remember that one time just inadvertently at the airport?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And where'd we eat? Was it Burger King?
It was Burger King.
It was Burger King. Yeah,
Burger King.
It was Burger King.
Nice callback, Dr. Mike.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't know New Mexico State's leaving the WAC.
I didn't either. No, I guess, yeah.
So. I'm going to have to look at that. Where are they going? I'll have to look it up.
What do you think of this weekend? Look at this. Oh, my gosh. All these tournaments, right? Including UCSD, San Diego State.
Yeah.
It's so many.
It'd be awesome to be there. But which one would you go to?
Well, here's what I'm thinking, Mike. Okay. Instead of that, maybe this is the year we go to March Madness in Las Vegas. Right?
Yeah,
because, think about it, right? You don't have your practice anymore. It might be a little bit easier for you to get away. We've always talked about it. How long can we put it off? We got to do it eventually. I'm just putting a bug in your ear.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's in March. So, yeah, we got some time.
Start thinking about it. Get in like Wednesday night, right? Stay the 4-day weekend, that initial weekend with all the games.
Right. Yeah. Right. Not a bad idea, Mark.
All right.
Not a bad idea.
Start thinking about it. All right, next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. Brian from Nebraska calling with kind of a funny trip report from last month to Council Bluffs. The guy was playing the progressive, or he hit the grand progressive on Mississippi Stud for just over $250,000. Wasn't super excited though. Thought maybe he was in shock. They came, got his, all of his info, took it, came back with a bunch of security and everything. He got escorted out. Turns out he had self-banned himself before that, and so I don't know if I presume he didn't get any of that money, but they still honored the $5,000 envy for the rest of the players that were playing it. Talked to a different dealer after the fact, and they said that he's been a regular, and she's been dealing to him for the last 2 years every week. So anyway, funny yet unfortunate scenario there. Have a good one. Thanks. Bye.
He had self-banned himself. So for those not familiar, if you feel that you've got a gambling problem, there are some casinos or some jurisdictions where you can self-ban yourself, meaning, you have banned yourself from casinos. And supposedly what's supposed to happen is if you go into one of these casinos, they notice you, they recognize you, and they kick you out right away. Well, in practice, there are plenty of times where these people can just go in and be undetected. But if something like this happens, then it's real obvious. So that's why he's sitting there thinking, oh, no. Probably shouldn't make the side bets.
Right, exactly. Probably shouldn't make the side
But he's
bets.
Got a problem, so...
Have you self-banned yourself from anything, Mark?
Not casino-related, no. There are times where I self-ban myself from the candy section at the supermarket. Yeah. But I still go in there. They never kick me out.
Yeah, I've self-banned myself a lot from a lot of things, and I've always failed in that aspect, except for lima beans. I still have not eaten lima beans.
Oh, okay,
And
so you feel you
yeah.
don't need to self-ban yourself from lima beans.
No, I did it just to protect. Just, to
just in case.
Just in case I get the urge to eat a lima bean. Not happening.
All right, next call.
Hey guys, this is David Carlin from down in Wichita, Kansas. I just want to let you know that I've actually played at that table at the Diamond Joe Worth that you're headed to. Great little table and a fun little story. You know, I try to practice dice setting and things like that. I don't claim to be a dice influencer, but I try what I can. And I was having a horrible session. And then this one guy, he would just pick him up and chuck him down to the end of the table just as hard as he possibly could. And he went on a heater. I did a little video on it called I Was Saved by a Chicken Feeder. That man, he knew what he was doing. He threw those dice and made us all a lot of money. So I hope that story continues for you. I hope you have a great time down at Diamond Joe Worth. Fun little table, and good luck, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Oh, good. Well, thanks, David. Gosh, maybe you can,
David, he's got to go.
Yeah,
he's got to go. I mean, think about it. His name's David.
Yep, the most common listener name, yeah.
The most common listener name. He's got to go. There'll be a ton of Davids there. There was a guy there last time when I was there. He was there the whole time I was. And every time he rolled the dice, he would carefully set them and carefully, manipulate them, whatever he was doing, and then roll them. Well, Mark, in the course of like 7 hours, every single one of his rolls was an immediate out, except for one roll where he rolled a 6 before he immediately outed. Right. And, everyone else is picking up and throwing them. And, at one point, I was next to the stick man. He was on the other side of the stick man. And I, under my breath, said something like, "Stop setting them." And the stick man turned to me and nodded his head like, "Yeah, that's not working." It's so funny.
Hey, look, play everyone. And I know, sometimes we complain about this kind of, it wasn't like he was taking a lot of time.
Oh,
right?
No, he wasn't. But, it wasn't annoying at all.
If he actually believes that something's going on, maybe, take these examples as a notification that you should be doing something different, right?
Right. I don't know. Move a spot or do something. It was pretty funny. He had some pretty bad rolls, but he wasn't annoying. Okay. Well, let me put it that way.
Oh, well, then fine. Yeah.
As long as he wasn't annoying. I wasn't really that upset. I was just like, gosh, can we be any more unlucky? Yeah.
All right. Next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike, Alan from San Francisco. Finally made a trip down to Harrah's, Southern California. We're dropping our daughter off to UC Irvine, and I convinced my wife, hey, it's a little over an hour away, so why not? Plus, we got comped rooms, which was perfect with the Caesars rewards. Craps, not so good. First thing I want to say is that's the only craps table I've ever seen with chairs around it. Never seen that before, but hey, whatever helps, keeps the customers happy, I guess. Yeah, a lot of people were PSOing, 0.7 out. Didn't really have a fun gambling trip, but we did enjoy the hotel. The pool was nice. We did the spa. That was wonderful. We also ate at the Hell's Kitchen, which was pretty fancy. Food was okay. The service was great. We'll definitely be trying to make a trip down there again since our daughter's going to school down there. But we do have little kids, so they'll enjoy that lazy river at the pool. Oh, and another thing, we also checked out the other casino, Valley View. I guess that's an adult-only hotel and resort. And we also checked out Pechanga. I don't know if you guys ever been there, but that place is really huge, massive. Played craps there. Actually won a little bit, so that was nice. But yeah, that's just my weekly trip wrap-up. Thanks for everything you guys do. Keep it up. Talk to you later.
Yeah, thanks. Glad you had a good time at Harrah, Southern California. We have been to Pechanga. It's been a little while, but yeah, at one point it was the biggest casino in California. I think it might be number 2 now, but it is huge.
It is very huge.
You get lost in it. And Valley View, we've been into, but even though it's close to Harrah's, we don't frequent it because they don't have craps. I mean, that's the main reason. They have a few table games. It's mostly slots there, but it is a popular place.
Right, right.
Yeah, as far as the chairs at the craps table, that just sort of evolved. It became sort of the culture of craps at Harrah's Southern California.
Yeah,
Chairs
I
there.
want to say that when it first started, there wasn't a chair at every spot.
I agree, yeah.
It was like there was a few chairs for people who needed to sit. And then all of a sudden they were going to get new chairs that were better suited for the table.
Yeah.
And so they got the new chairs and then they just got them for every spot.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. I mean, most casinos, if you need a chair, they'll pull a chair up for you.
Right.
But it's nice when they're just there and you can just stand if you want. But
Right.
if you get a little tired, you can sit down.
What I like about the chairs, sort of secondary, is that it limits the number of people who can be on each side of the table. So you have a little
Right.
more room, right? If you move
Right,
away the chairs,
right.
you get a lot of more people there. But, I like a little more room on the table. So,
Yep, I hear you.
all right. Next up is Keith. The call kept dropping out quite a bit. I tried to edit it so that you can get the gist of it, but just a heads up.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Keith calling from New Hampshire. I just want to give you a trip report. We went to Puerto Rico recently. Unfortunately, the hurricane prayer folks down there that's dealing with that right now. But I did want to give a trip report of the Wyndham Rio Mar, small casino at the resort. My game is craps, and unfortunately, they did not have any craps there. They did have blackjack, 5 tables, 3-2 shoe. Played it pretty much every night. Lost a little bit, but nothing too bad. But that was my wife. She actually plays slots, and she won a $2,500 slot pull. So that paid for a little more than half of our vacation. She was so very pleased for her and just had a great time at the resort. The show. Talk with you guys again, and have a great day.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for the report. And gosh, yeah, our thoughts go out to everyone. Puerto Rico and Florida. Oh my gosh, just a disaster.
We'll give our best to everyone in all those places,
Yeah.
especially to the families that lost people.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Next call.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Nick from Virginia. I was calling in with a quick trip report from the Hollywood Casino in Charlestown, West Virginia. In my quest to find cheaper craps, I decided to head out to West Virginia after hearing about it on The Better Life. And I'd actually been there a few years ago, but not any time recently. And it's about an hour from where I live, which is not a bad drive at all. So I got there Friday morning, and the craps table was $10, which is great because I have not seen a $10 table in the Northern Virginia area in quite some time. So I was very happy to see that. Stepped right up and got to playing. And nothing really happened except a guy next to me hit the all small. One thing I noticed about this table was that people were betting in different ways that I was used to on the all tall small. Some people would just bet the tall and the all, the small and the all, and some people would just bet the small and the tall, but not to make them all. It was pretty random what people were betting. Also, the other thing about this casino is they didn't pay out the all tall small until after the person's roll was over. So they marked everybody who had it. They just got paid out when Big Red finally came up, which was different because I was used to getting paid out immediately. Overall, it's a smoking casino, and I don't really like that, but nobody was smoking right next to me. So while it did smell like smoke, it wasn't terrible. And I decided right before I went home to go play a little bit of Pai Gow at a $25 table. And I had probably the best Pai Gow session I've ever had. I just had terrible hands, but the dealer was having worse terrible hands. So we would both have a Pai Gow, but she would just have a slightly worse Pai Gow. And then I hit a straight flush, which is the first time I've hit a bonus that large on Pai Gow ever. And it was amazing. And I was winning hands too. Normally I'm pushing and winning bonuses, but rarely am I winning bonuses and winning the hands. And so it was a great session. I more than doubled up my Pai Gow stake. Actually, I doubled my money almost on craps too. So if you're in Northern Virginia and you normally go to Baltimore National Harbor, you should give out Hollywood Casino a chance. It was a good casino. The crew was really nice and really professional. And yeah, I had a great time. Thanks for the show and keep up the good work. Bye.
All right, good. Yeah, thanks for the report. Have you ever heard of a craps table where they don't pay the all tall small until the 7 out?
Okay, yeah. I'm glad he brought this up because I haven't mentioned it. At Worth Casino, so if half hits, let's say the small hits, they pay that out right away.
Okay.
And then if, let's say, the tall hits, they pay that out right away. but they don't pay the all until the very end of the roll.
Okay.
Now, the first time I saw that, I was like, oh gosh, so we're going to get this money at the end. And the more I thought about it as we were playing, I thought, oh, well, that's actually really good because they don't stop the game.
Okay. That's really the only reason I could think of.
Yeah. Well, they don't stop the game and you can't rebet it. Now, if you could rebet it, they'd have to pay it out, right?
Yeah.
But since you can't rebet it, once it's hit, that's it. A person can't hit the all twice.
Okay. That's
on their
the rule
roll.
they've got. Okay.
That's the rule they've got there. So it makes sense to pay it at the end. That way you don't stop the game. Just keep playing, and at the end you get your money.
Okay. Well, if that's really the reason they do it, I guess good for them, because really from the casino's point of view, they should pay it and let you rebet it, right? It's more money for them, on the side bet.
Right. Well, that's what I've been arguing there. I'm like, well, why won't you let us rebet it? It's more money for you. But if that's their policy and they don't want it, I agree with.
I wonder what their real rationale though is, because I don't think it's, we don't want to slow up the game. I can't imagine that would be it. But
I don't know. Maybe. I mean,
why? Why would that be their reason?
Well, if you have to check it,
you got to do that anyway at the end.
Yeah, but they can check it while they're still playing the game, right?
Oh, I kind of see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I see. Okay,
the camera upstairs is checking it,
and then,
while you're still playing the game, and then it, at the end, it's like, okay, it was good, and they just pay it.
Oh, okay.
You know
I
how
got
it
Harrah's, okay.
Southern California, how long it takes when you hit it?
Right. Okay. All right. You convinced me.
I mean, I think that's the reason.
Yeah.
Now, why they sweat, the money not rebetting it, I don't know. Right. I mean, I think that's just bad policy. I mean, you should be able to rebet it. In the long run, they're going to make a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
Especially the rebet, because people never rebet it for, let's say they had $1 on it. Well, when they rebet it,
they're more likely
$5.
to put more. Yeah. All right. Next up is Vincent.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. Vincent from Virginia here. I'm a new listener, first-time caller. Been listening for about 3-4 months now. Really enjoy your program. Thank you so much. I have a recent trip report from a Caesars Atlantic City. I've been a Caesars Entertainment customer for many years. I lived in Western North Carolina for about a decade, and so I got to spend a lot of time at Harrah's Cherokee. I've heard you all talk about that property, and I can tell you that it is by far the best Harrah's that I've ever been to, and I've been to them in several parts of the country. Back in January, in fact, I took a charter flight. I live in Richmond, Virginia, and I took a charter flight to Atlantic City and stayed at their Harrah's Resort there, which I thought was actually quite wonderful. We had a great time at the casino. They had very fair rules, wonderful meals, including Gordon Ramsay's. I was very impressed. They had fantastic table game minimums and rules, including 3-2 blackjack with surrender, split any 2 cards, double after the split, etc. Most of my family is in the Northeast, so given that experience, when we had planned our most recent reunion, I suggested Atlantic City as a destination, and of course, being that I was a Caesars customer, I assumed Caesars being the flagship property would be a good choice, so we booked Caesars Atlantic City. I was incorrect to do that, in my opinion. It looked like the property is under renovation, which I understand, and I certainly give them a pass there. However, there were several disappointing facets of the trip. First off, I brought 22 people to the resort, and all they offered was $35 in slot play. The host as well flat out refused to talk to me. I had asked to speak to a host to ask sort of what kind of play they're looking for perhaps a free buffet or free meal or something like that, and they wouldn't even speak to me. In fact, the words used were, "You don't rate to talk to us until you gamble more." Well, I, of course, realized that, and that's why I was trying to speak to you to figure out sort of what you're looking for. I have stayed at high-end properties in Las Vegas several times and have never had an issue talking to any member of the staff, so that really threw me off right there. The rules in the Caesars Atlantic City were also quite a bit different from Harrah's. There was no surrender option and only one table open before 11 a.m., so several of us were just sort of standing around waiting for a place to play all morning long, which made no sense to me. I took the walk down to the Tropicana, also a Caesars property, and they had several tables open with $5 and $10 minimums. That paid 3-2. I couldn't believe it, and was a lovely casino as well. The food was fantastic, so I have to give them credit where credit's due there. We did have some very good meals there. The second night, we went to the Borgata for a comedy show and dinner. I checked my offers knowing that I rarely ever play at MGM properties, but I figured, what the heck, maybe something's there. I had $600 in free play and a $75 dinner credit.
Nice.
Couldn't believe it.
The minute I got back to Richmond, canceled my reservations for this December at Caesars in Las Vegas and switched it to the Mirage. I'm now a convert to the MGM property. So all in all, it was a great trip. It was great to see my family. And I'm still not completely turned off of Caesars entertainment. I just didn't understand why the Caesars property was so much below the standard from a service and gaming point of view as the Tropicana and the Harrahs were. Caesars Virginia is scheduled to open in 2024. We'll see how I feel about them when that opens. Maybe I'll give them a try. But hope you're both doing well. Thank you for all you do.
Yeah, thanks. Mike, isn't that baffling?
Vincent.
Right? I mean, just you won't even talk, because that's common. It's like, hey, what do you require for me to get rated?
It's absolutely ridiculous, Mark. The host, I'm sorry, should be fired.
Well, or
immediately.
It might not even be the host. Maybe that's their policy, right?
Well, if that's their policy, then whoever set that policy should be fired.
Yeah.
You talk to every single customer that comes in and wants to talk to you. I don't care if it's somebody who's going to gamble $100 or somebody who's going to gamble $100,000. It's very important to talk to people, and a little bit of kindness, a few seconds of time. How long would it take? You're going to get a customer for life.
Yeah.
That guy may come back there many times.
It's true. And I understand when they might say, oh, you know, your play doesn't rate a host at this point.
Right.
That I understand. But to not even talk? Yeah, it really is baffling.
No. You know what you do? You politely meet the guy. You say, yeah, well, right now your play, isn't rateable, what we look for rating somebody. But if it jumped up to this level, then yes, we would love to rate you. And we appreciate you bringing, 21 people here. So, how about a free dinner for everybody?
Yeah.
It just makes sense, right?
Something. And, this isn't the first time we've heard about Caesars Atlantic City really going down in quality, like being one of the lesser Caesars properties in Atlantic City when it should be their flagship, right? Yeah, exactly. It should be the best one.
Right, exactly.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I mean, they lost a customer to another property.
Yeah, they really did. All right. One last call from, listener David.
Another David.
Hello. I enjoy your show quite a bit, even though I'm not a craps player. You've got lots of good stories, so that's fun. I thought I'd share a couple with you. On Cinco de Mayo at River Spirit Casino in Tulsa, I came up to a 3-card poker table, and I bought in with my regular $300, and this should have been a signal that things are going to be weird today, but she gave me 2 full stacks of green and a full stack of red, so $1,100. She asked the floor if that was okay, and he nodded yes, and so they split it over to me, and I was going to stack my money like I normally do, and there was just too much money there. So I gave it back, and everybody had a big laugh, and I imagine the dealer got a little talking to. But later on, a new dealer came up, and along with her came a player that she had just taught how to play UTH. So she was going to teach him how to play 3-card poker. So on her first hand to him, she gave him 3 twos. And then on her second hand to him, she gave him 3 sixes, and everybody's freaking out and calling over the floor and looking around and wondering what's the deal. And then on her third hand, she gave him 3 eights. Then the floor came over and looked at the boxes that the cards came out, and they looked through the cards and everything, and everybody was saying that's amazing, and I thought it was. Just one other thing about Oklahoma gambling. At Siloam Springs, Cherokee Casino, which is the closest to our house, in Fayetteville, Arkansas. My name's David anyway. They have $1 blackjack table, which is always full. And I think that's kind of amazing because you got to pay 50 cents each hand to play. And then finally at Harrah's Kansas City North, we were playing face up Pai Gow, and my wife misset her hand on an ace-5 Pai Gow situation. And the dealer took her money because she fouled her hand. She put 3 cards up and 4 cards down. And we called over the floor, and they said, well, because it's face up, we're not going to cut you any slack at all. And then later on, we found out that if the dealer had an ace-high Pai Gow, you had to set your hand. You couldn't just say, okay, it's going to be a push, because it should have been. But they made you set your hand so you'd foul it, and then they take your money. Okay, enjoy your show. Continue your good work, and I'm glad Dr. Mike has a job working with kids. I'm a school teacher, retired, so thank you.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
How's it going with your kids, Mike?
Wonderful.
Great.
Wonderful.
It's good to hear.
Every day we have fun.
All right, so Mike, this Pai Gow situation, is that not one of the most infuriating what are casinos thinking story you've ever heard?
Yes.
Ace high on face up Pai Gow, when the dealer gets ace high, everyone pushes.
Yeah, you shouldn't even have to set your
You shouldn't even have to
right?
set your hand. Okay, turn your cards over. Sure, make sure everything's on the up and everything looks good. But you still have to set your hand, and if you foul, you lose. Oh my gosh. I don't even care if that's written down somewhere. That's ridiculous. That is what are casinos thinking?
Well, there's another example of poor casino management. I mean, come on. You're going to win in the long run, right?
Absolutely terrible.
You set these rules. I mean, why piss people off? It's just ridiculous.
I know of plenty of stories where, in say regular Pai Gow, where if you foul your hand, they'll let you change it. Just add a good, unless like one of the players is banking, obviously. But they'll just, you misread your hand. Go ahead and set, or we'll do it house way for you. Something like that.
House way, yeah.
Just awful. This
yeah,
story.
that's terrible. Yeah. But I liked it. They gave him $1,100 for $300.
And the pit said, "Yeah, go ahead."
Yeah.
Wow.
That goes to show you how much the pit's watching, right?
Looks good to me.
Yeah, it looks good. 3 stacks. I wish they had been purple.
Okay, looks good.
And 3 hands with trips in a row.
Yeah, it's pretty good. This is a guy learning the game. Hey, this is easy.
Right, but David didn't say if he heard any buzzing or vibrating in the table.
No, he didn't.
There had to be something going on there.
Yeah, he was getting a phone message.
Somebody's vibrating.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this all works. It doesn't make sense to me, but
well, I'm not a cheater. I don't get it.
I don't understand it either.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I would have taken the 1,100 though and said, "Color me up."
Yeah, just really quick.
I'm going to go to the bathroom. Color me up.
Exactly. Pocket a bunch. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode. We want to thank some people for some recurring donations. Brian and Sarah, Josh, the Crap Vegas podcast, James, and Jeremy at the Color Up YouTube channel. Thank you very much for those recurring donations. We also got a donation from listener Jerry. Thank you for what you do. Shout out to my little sister who started listening to the original episodes after we listened to some on the way to the casino. She started from the beginning. Yes, she listened to the bathroom episodes. Oh, nice. I'm glad we have 2 references to the bathroom episodes today.
Well, when you just Google bathroom episode, our names come up, Mark. I've done that.
Oh, okay. I think bathroom episode, your name comes up quite a lot.
Bathroom.
Yeah, I had a bathroom episode again.
Oh my God. When we're in private, I'm going to tell you my latest bathroom episode.
Oh, please don't. Also, a donation from listener Nicholas. Here's a karma donation in arrears. Thanks for the pod. Oh, well, thank you very much, Nicholas.
Boy, there's been a lot of vibrating rear talk, too.
We also got a donation from Raina. No message with that, but thank you very much. And finally, a donation from Kevin. I hope this karma donation works as well as last time. Heading back to Vegas next week. See you at Diamond Joe Worth next month. Oh, very good.
Oh,
well,
great.
We'll see you there, Kevin.
I'm glad Kevin's coming. When I go, it's like this last minute thing. Like I wake up, okay, I think I'll go. I have some time.
Yeah.
And I never contact him because I just think, that's kind of rude to just say, hey, I'm going to be there in a few minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't really planned out anything. So I'm glad he's going. And then when we're there, I'm going to set up a time to go with just him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, after the trip. After that. Oh, great.
After the trip. Yeah.
Good. Right. Hey, be sure to check out our TV listing showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks at youcanbetonThat.com/TV-listings and our list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonThat.com/movies. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonthat@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at You Can Bet On That, and on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. Finally, please go to your favorite podcast app and write a review of the show. We love getting your feedback. You got something for us today, Dr. Mike?
Well, I know you're not going to like to hear this, Mark, but I'm going to talk about magic numbers.
All right.
And the magic number today is 1.
For the Padres to make the playoffs.
To make the playoffs.
Right.
They have to win one of their last 4 games or have Milwaukee lose one of their last 4 games.
Correct.
What do you think? 50-50?
I was telling Sherry that last night. It's like, she said, "Oh, you going to watch the game today?" And I said, "I don't know." Because they absolutely should make the playoffs. Do I want to put myself through the torture?
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Not happening today. Not happening tomorrow. And
Yep. I'm going to put the game on my phone. I'll put the NFL on the TV.
Yeah.
And I'll fall asleep. And then hope that I wake up to, a win.
Yeah.
And if I wake up and they haven't won, I'm just going to chalk it off to a nightmare and go back to sleep.
Okay, good.
That's my plan.
Okay, you got your day all planned out. Good for you.
Got my day all planned. Well, first I'm going to eat a bunch of chips and dip.
Yeah, me too. Oh, I'm going to make the dip right now.
Yeah. I mean, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
That's how our Sundays go.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Good night.
Mark, that was wonderful. I had no idea you were so talented. The audience is going to love you.